Russian President Vladimir Putin has welcomed his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping to the Kremlin for a bilateral summit.
In the cold hush of global diplomacy, beneath handshakes and summit photographs, something darker brews. A silent alliance, one that doesn't scream but whispers. One that doesn't march in public but plots in shadows. Russia, North Korea, China. Three nations, each unique in their ideology and leadership. Yet now, for the first time in decades, their footsteps echo in rhythm, not by coincidence, but by careful coordination. This isn't about just politics. This is about rewriting the rules of global power, a quiet, calculated march toward a new world order. And the world? It may already be too late to stop them. For nearly 80 years, the world has been living under the dominance of a single idea, the Western-led global order. The United States, with its NATO allies, created a system based on liberal democracy, capitalism, and military alliances. From trade routes to technology standards, from cultural influence to global policing, the West decided the rules. But every empire cast shadows, and in those shadows, resentment grew. In Moscow, Vladimir Putin watched as NATO expanded eastward, creeping ever closer to Russia's borders, ignoring promises once made. In Beijing, the Communist Party saw the West lecture them on human rights, all while depending on China's factories for their iPhones and cheap goods. And in Pyongyang, the Kim dynasty faced crippling sanctions, isolation, and ridicule from a world that refused to recognize its nuclear ambitions. Three leaders, three ideologies, but one shared belief. The Western world had overstepped, and it was time to push back. The invasion that changed everything. When Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022, it wasn't just a war, it was a signal. Putin wasn't just targeting Kyiv, he was challenging the Western order itself. And the West responded with what it knew best: sanctions, condemnations, and weapons. But behind the headlines, a shift occurred. China, while publicly calling for peace, quietly bought discounted Russian oil. North Korea, though silent, ramped up missile testing, knowing global attention was elsewhere. It was as if the war opened a back door, a space where new alliances could form, hidden from the West's gaze. Unlike NATO or the EU, the new alliance doesn't come with official declarations or flag ceremonies. It's stitched together through mutual needs and shared enemies. Russia brings oil, gas, and cyber warfare. China offers manufacturing, rare earth minerals, and deep pockets. North Korea contributes weapons, unpredictability, and a nuclear wildcard. Together, they create a triangle of resistance, each corner reinforcing the other. When Russia faces sanctions, China steps in with trade deals. When North Korea runs low on resources, Moscow ships grain and oil. When China tests the waters in Taiwan, Russian media provides support, spinning narratives of Western hypocrisy. They're not allies by love, but by purpose. What the world failed to notice is that this alliance isn't just military or political. It's technological. China is building its own internet architecture. The Great Firewall is just the beginning. Now, it's exporting surveillance systems to countries around the world. Russia is perfecting AI-driven disinformation campaigns, flooding social media with chaos and doubt. North Korea has elite hacking units like Lazarus Group, known for stealing billions in cryptocurrency to fund state operations. Together, they're creating a parallel internet, a parallel truth, a world where the facts don't matter, only the narrative they control. For decades, the United Nations, the IMF, and the World Bank served as instruments of Western diplomacy. But now, China creates its own global bank, the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. Russia forms military and economic pacts with ex-Soviet states. North Korea holds secret arms summits with Middle Eastern dictatorships. They're not just challenging the old order, they're replacing it, piece by piece. And in places like Africa and Latin America, struggling nations are listening. Because while the West offers loans with lectures, this alliance offers cash, no questions asked. The flashpoints are heating up. Every alliance has its battlefield, and for this silent axis, there are three. Ukraine, a proxy war that's draining Western resources while Russia tests new weapons. Taiwan, a ticking time bomb. The Chinese military now conducts near-daily airspace violations, while the US pledges defense. South Korea and Japan. With North Korean missiles flying overhead, the Pacific is on edge. Every launch is a threat, every silence a psychological game. Each front is different, but the strategy is the same. Stretch the West thin. Divide its attention. Wear down its unity. What happens behind closed doors often matters more than what's on TV. Secret meetings between Russian and Chinese generals. unmarked cargo flights from Pyongyang to Moscow, joint naval drills in the South China Sea, the Sea of Japan, and the Arctic. Satellite imagery shows unusual construction in North Korean mountains, possibly new silos. Russian advisors are seen entering Pyongyang's military command centers. Chinese warships now patrol routes once dominated by the US Navy. These aren't coincidences. They're signals. This alliance is not just about territory, it's about belief. The Western model promises freedom, democracy, and open markets. But this new axis promises strength, control, and stability at any cost. And disturbingly, some in the world are listening. In countries where democracy has failed to deliver results, authoritarianism starts to look appealing. China points to its economic rise. Russia touts national pride. North Korea sells the illusion of invincibility. It's a seductive narrative, and one the West is struggling to counter. The Silent Alliance won't declare war tomorrow. It doesn't need to. Its power is in erosion, not explosion. It will chip away at institutions, spread disinformation, create dependencies, and rewrite norms, all while the West argues among itself. By the time the world realizes what's happened, the old order may already be gone. A new map, a new balance, a new world. We often think history repeats in loud, violent chapters, but sometimes it whispers. The alliance between Russia, North Korea, and China is not a flashpoint. It's a slow burn. And in that silence lies the greatest threat. Because while the world watches for missiles, coups, and invasions, it might miss the quiet shift happening underneath. Power is moving, alliances are forming, and the future? It's being written in silence. This is ArtifactEcho, where history speaks and the present listens. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more untold truths and global stories that matter.